feel about the nation's current immigration laws and policy?
Well, I think they are being progressive, and I don't necessarily think they're too strict. I think that if immigrants have a criminal record, then they should be deported. But if immigrants have a good record in the United States and have shown that they're a good addition to the country, that they should be given a chance to try to get some sort of legal documentation.
Okay. So you kind of already touched on it, but where do you see this country moving in terms of immigration policy? You know, do you see it becoming more progressive, or is it kind of moving back and becoming harder for illegal immigrants to make a life here in America?
I think it's becoming a little easier. Personally, my cousin, she's my age, she has lived here her entire life. She came to the United States when she was young, and just recently she got a permit to go to school. She's been going to college without a permit, so that kind of hindered her from actually getting a good education. And I mean, like her, if you've proved that you're a good benefit to the country, then you should be given a chance. But like I said, if you have some sort of criminal record, then I have no problem with you being sent back.
Okay. So how have you personally been affected by immigration laws?
Well, both of my parents immigrated to this country illegally. I was born here, so I'm a legal citizen. But my dad, when I was older, he got deported, and my mom went back. So, I mean, I've experienced it with both of my parents.
Was your mom, why did she have to go back?
She didn't have to. She wanted to go back.
So you being from Arizona, what are your thoughts on their current laws and approach towards illegal immigrants down in that state?
I think they're a bit harsh, and that it shouldn't be that way. I don't think that you should be pulled over just because you look different, or you don't necessarily look white, I would say. I think it should be illegal to get pulled over if there's no cause, or if they just feel like pulling you over. I think that shouldn't be allowed.
What's the perception down in Arizona? Are a lot of people for it, against it?
Well, there's a lot of people who are for it, and there's a lot of people who are against it. I would say it's a 50-50. I don't necessarily know the percentage-wise, but, I mean, there's both sides to the case.
Okay. Do you see, is Arizona, do you think it's kind of, you know, one state case, or do you feel Arizona's approach toward illegal immigration reflects the entire nation's view?
It's a one-state case just because we're so close, or Arizona's so close to the border. It's affected a lot more than a lot of other states, and I mean, there's constant immigration going on in the state, and I mean, there's also all sorts of drug crimes that occur through that, so I'm sure that has some sort of influence on this.
Okay. So, being a legal citizen of the country, do you think that citizens and yourself could pass our current citizenship test?
No, I don't.
Do you think it should be that way? Do you think it should be easier for people to pass?
I think that it should be easier, the written test, because I'm positive that many Americans, even students, can't pass that test. And I think that if there's people that are trying to get legal documentation here, that they should be required to know the language.
So that requirement, should that be the person taking the test? Should it be their responsibility to learn the language? Or should it be the government's responsibility to teach them the language and prep them for the course or the test?
It should be the people's responsibility. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do to learn. The government, I don't think, has a need to provide that.
So, do you feel that legal immigrants should have a path to citizenship? After being here for, you know, say a set amount of time, do you think they should have the opportunity to become a legal citizen of the United States?
It depends. Like I said, if they have some sort of record that's not necessarily beneficial to the states or to the country, then no. If they've shown that they're trying and they're trying to do something of themselves to better the country, then yes.
So, what do you have to say about immigrants moving to America but not adapting to the American culture? And some people are saying it creates a cultural divide in this country. What do you have to say about that?
I think that the people that are immigrating here should try to adapt, just because if they're moving to an entirely new country, they have to adapt to the way they live, and not necessarily stick to their roots. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying keeping your roots is bad, but trying to adapt would make it easier on everybody else as well.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Sure.